In this video, I'm going to go over the basic functionality of Excelendar. So we start by opening the main task pane and simply importing an event. The first option you need to know about is All Events or Date Range. So I'm going to start with All Events. Here we can see that some events have a recurrence rule, which we'll edit using the RRule editor later. We also have notes that are in HTML, and we can edit them using the Notes editor. I'm going to edit the title. So once we've edited an event, if I open that event, you can see it hasn't yet changed. If I export my changes and we go back to the event, we can see it has been updated. I can edit any properties of this event. For now, I'll just modify the title again, save the event, then import changes. And now we can see the updates that have been made. This was using the All Events and Local Time settings, which you can see here. In the settings, we also have an option to use event date times. If I save that, the sheet will be updated, and I can now edit the events using the event date times. I'm going to go back to local times and confirm that I want to see events in the sheet time zone, which will again update the start and end columns accordingly. Next, I can click here to go back to the main screen. Now let's look at the Notes editor. Here, I can select text. I can edit the size. I can set a background. And I can set a text color, for example. If I save that, you can see that the HTML has been updated accordingly, as shown in the Notes and the Source tab. I'll now go back to the main task pane and export that change to Outlook. When I open the event, you can now see my changes have been saved with the same formatting. You can also quickly delete events. And click this button to reset the status colors for the sheet. In the settings, we can change the main interface language, the header and column language, and the sheet time zone, which updates start and end times. We can also select different options for the mailbox time zone change behavior, whether we keep status colors after each operation, and if we want to keep deleted event details. I can also copy layouts and paste layouts, and use saved layouts for new imports. I can change the row height, for example. We can also add optional columns, and we can remove deleted event rows. Like this row, for example. And we've also changed the row height slightly. Next up is the RRule editor. This is useful if we're using the All Events option, where recurring events are imported as a single row with a repeat rule, such as a weekly event on Tuesdays, as opposed to date ranges which import every instance of a repeat series as a separate row. In the RRule editor, you can change the number of times that an event repeats, or you can edit the RRule directly. You can select daily, weekly, monthly, change the options for the end date, then insert the rule into the selected event row. If I export that event, the repeat rule will be updated, and instead of Tuesday, Wednesday, it's now just Tuesday. If I edit the event in Outlook to make it repeat on Tuesdays and Thursdays, I can save that event, then go back to my sheet and import the changes. So here we can see that the event repeats weekly on Tuesdays. If I import the changes, I can see it's now been updated to Tuesdays and Thursdays. Now, what about columns? You can move them around, hide them, and even rename them, and it won't affect how the sheet works. You can also add new columns for your own data that you want to associate with an event, such as private notes, links to documents, or any other event metadata. And when you move or sort the sheet, this data will stay connected to that event. Now I'm going to import a date range by choosing a start and end date and clicking Import. And here we can see that our TeamSync conference has several individual events that correspond to the original repeat series. So for instance, I can take one of these events and edit it, and if I export that change, that will only be applied to that particular occurrence. So I'm editing one event of the series, and it's now in New York office. If I go to Show All Instances, we have our original events at the main office, and my edited instance now says New York office, so the main event details are unchanged. Usually, you would use import changes to update the sheet with recent changes made to events in Outlook. But if for some reason data has been deleted by mistake, or you want to undo edits that haven't yet been exported, you can simply click Import All to import the missing data. We hope you found this presentation useful, and please don't hesitate to get in touch if you have any questions.